What's your I did not see that one coming story? Last winter, my friend Amanda convinced me to try this cooking class in the city. I'd just gotten out of a long relationship and she said I needed to meet new people and stop eating microwave mac and cheese. I didn't expect much. I figured it'd just be a bunch of bored couples making pasta together. But when we got there, it was this super cozy studio with twinkly lights and everyone was in aprons chopping vegetables like it was a TV show. Our instructor was this energetic Italian guy named Marco who had the kind of accent that made every boring direction sound dramatic. Halfway through the class, I noticed this guy across the table, tall, curly hair, wearing a faded college hoodie. He kept making little jokes under his breath, and every time he did, I caught myself smiling. His name was Nate. We got paired up for the sauce-making part. I was terrible at it. I burned the garlic immediately. But instead of making fun of me, Nate leaned in and whispered, "It's okay. Smoke is just flavor trying to escape." It broke the tension, and we ended up laughing through the whole thing. At the end of class, he asked for my number. I wasn't expecting anything, but we started texting, then hanging out, and pretty quickly, it turned into dating. Here's where the did not see that coming part kicks in. Nate was the most thoughtful boyfriend I'd ever had. He brought me coffee before work, left sticky notes with dumb puns on my fridge, even remembered my coworkers' names when I ranted about them. But there was this one weird quirk. He hated talking about his family, like completely shut down whenever it came up. If I asked about his parents, he'd just say, "They're complicated," and change the subject. I figured he was just private, so I didn't push. Fast forward about 6 months. Amanda invited both of us to her cousin's wedding. It was one of those huge fancy affairs at a country club, everyone in tuxes and gowns. We were dancing, eating, having a great time. Then during dinner, Nate excused himself to grab a drink at the bar. He didn't come back right away, and when I went to look for him, I froze. Because there he was, standing at the bar, chatting with the bride's parents. And they were hugging him, like big, emotional hugs. I was confused but didn't want to interrupt, so I waited. When he came back, I asked what that was about. He looked pale and muttered, "I'll explain later." Later turned out to be the next morning. Nate sat me down and said, "So remember how I never talk about my family? Well, the truth is, I grew up with the couple you saw last night. They're not just anyone, they're Amanda's aunt and uncle." I was already lost. He explained that when he was a teenager, he was placed in foster care because his parents weren't safe. Amanda's aunt and uncle took him in for 3 years. They were basically his second family, but things ended badly because his biological parents tried to fight for custody again. He cut off contact with everyone from that time because it was too painful. I didn't know what to say. But here's the kicker. Amanda had no idea. Her cousin, the bride, had known, but Amanda never put it together. That wedding was the first time Nate had seen them in almost a decade. I thought that was the whole twist, but it wasn't. About a week later, Amanda came over, still buzzing about her cousin's wedding. I casually mentioned that Nate knew her aunt and uncle from years ago. She got quiet and said, "Wait, what's his last name again?" I told her. She grabbed her phone and pulled up a photo album. It was full of old family pictures. She scrolled and scrolled, then stopped on one. It was a picture of Amanda at her 8th birthday party, standing next to a scrawny teenage boy holding a piece of cake. Same curly hair, same grin, Nate. Apparently, Nate had lived with Amanda's family for a while when she was a kid. He'd even babysat her once or twice, but she was so young she barely remembered him, and he never connected the dots because it had been years. When I showed him the photo, his jaw literally dropped. He had no memory of Amanda as a kid, but seeing that picture hit him hard. He said it felt like his whole life had been looping back to that moment without him realizing. So now I'm dating this guy who not only randomly reconnected with his old foster family at a wedding, but also turns out to have babysat my best friend when she was in elementary school. Neither of us saw that one coming. The wildest part, Amanda's aunt told me later that she always hoped Nate would find his way back into their lives because she felt like he was the son she never had. And now, in the strangest way possible, he did.